Hey y'all, just wanted to go ahead and go over the book cover project mock-up and template for you guys. And for the mock-up, that back cover, how it needs to be reversed. So I'm going to go through the process here that I showed you guys in class, and you guys can review this moving forward. So if you remember on Edmodo, if you go into the folders here in the book cover redesign, there's the book cover mock zip. And within that file there is these two files here, which is the book cover template and the book cover mockup itself. So go ahead and download both of those files from Edmodo. You guys can open those up. And when you do, you guys will be seeing this here. Again, there's going to be two different files, the template and the actual mockup. So the template is what you guys are going to use to base your design off of. You should be able to see, and if you're not seeing these guides here, you can always go into view and let's see, show guides. Make sure that that's toggled on there. So you can see where the spine would sit, the back cover artwork and the front cover artwork here. And you guys, I know some of you guys have already been doing this, but you can obviously be working in Illustrator, transfer your designs over to Photoshop, or be working in Photoshop the whole time. But whenever you're, even as you're working through this, or when you've completed, make sure that you're working off of this final template, because this will correspond with the mock-up. So make sure that your final artwork is on here, and you guys will also be submitting your artwork as a flat file through this as well. Onto Edmodo. So make sure that you're working off of this file. So what you should have is something like this towards the end with, again, the correct imagery here in the spine, the back cover, the front cover, the back cover having all that information, title, the author, the synopsis, UPC code, the logo, and the website. Same thing for the spine here, having the author, title, and logo. So once you guys have this here, you're going to be saving this out as a file and bringing this actually into the mockup here. So if we go, so I've gone ahead and saved this out as a file. If I go ahead and come back into the mockup, you guys should, when you open it up, see something like this. There's a couple different drop downs that are already dropped down for you guys, but you can always close them up just to make it a little easier. And basically we have the front cover jacket book, the spine, and the back cover here. So each one of these is going to deal with these different parts of the book. And as I showed you guys in class, it's very similar to the album mockup. If you guys use a drop down for the front cover, you'll see that there's some different overlay features. The actual hard book, which you'll notice if I zoom in here a little bit, you guys can always go into that to the color of that hard book if you wanted to change that to something more specific. You can see how it kind of just changes the color of the hard book. You also don't really have to worry about that too much if you don't want to, and just kind of leave it a neutral color. That's fine as well. It's basically acting like a mock-up of a jacket here. And what you will see, if I spread this out a little bit, is a layer in each one of these, the front, the spine, and the back, that says put your design here. And that layer is going to be a smart layer that we're going to be putting our actual artwork on. So you'll notice that we have a thumbnail here, the thumbnail all the way over to the left, this that I'm hovered above here, this smart object thumbnail. Let me hover above so it'll pop up. This smart object thumbnail here is what we're going to actually use. So if I double click into that, it will bring up the front cover artwork. Now from here, all I need to do is place that finished design that I've already previously saved out. So I'm going to go ahead and find this, taking you guys through the course of it all here. And I'm going to go ahead and place that previous file that I've been working off of that was on the template, right? And from here, all I need to do is just expand it so that it hits the appropriate height. I go ahead and hit enter. And I'm just going to move this over so that it lines up with the front of my cover. So once I have that in place, now all I need to do is just hit the save button. I come up here to edit, save. And now once it finishes saving, when I go back to my mockup, you'll notice that it automatically has converted the front cover there. So again, very similar to the album artwork. So now let's go ahead and do the spine. I'm going to go ahead and open up the spine. Same thing. It has the put your design here, smart thumbnail. I'm going to go ahead and double click on that guy. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to use that same file. I don't necessarily need to use a different file for this as long as I'm spanning the correct height of the book. Then it should work appropriately. So again, I'm just going to save, Command S on a Mac. I'm going to go ahead and close this one out as well as the front cover. And again, you'll notice that the spine is appropriately positioned there. And so all well and good so far. So the last one is a little bit trickier. This is the one that we have to actually make the mirrored reflection of. So again, I'm going to go ahead and go into the drop down for the back cover and put your design here layer. I'm going to double click on the smart thumbnail. And as soon as I do, you'll notice that the actual text is backwards on this one as well. So again, let's go through the same motions. I'm going to place that embedded file and make sure it's the correct height. Same process as before. And hit enter. Now, what I do want to do differently on this is I need to flip this basically and have it backwards so that when it and I'll show you guys here right now actually. If I line this up and just do exactly how we were doing the previous ones and I hit save, if I go to the mockup now, you'll notice that it's backwards. It's basically reflected on there, and that's just because of the mockup that's being mirrored here. So what we can do as a workaround is we can go up here to edit, transform, or free transform, and then come to edit, transform, and flip horizontal. And basically what that will do is it will flip the entire thing. So now as you use the mockup, it's going to look like it's backwards. Let's go ahead and hit enter. But when we save it, it's going to go ahead and mirror that over for us in the mockup. So essentially for this back smart object here, for the back book cover, you need to go into the edit, transform, and flip horizontal in order for that to be flipped backwards, and then save that out, and when you do, it should read correctly on your final mockup. So this looks good, and we have our final front, our spine, and our back there. You can always go in here to the background and change the background color if you'd like to sort of harmonize it with something that you have going on there as well. I would keep it kind of light. It tends to look kind of strange when you get into the darker colors. So I would kind of keep it light, but if you want to add some sort of different tonal quality to that, you can certainly do so as well if you want to warm it up or even cool it down somehow. You can kind of play around with that if you'd like to. Otherwise, you can go ahead and save this out as a final PDF for review and for print. And just a note, when you are printing this, just like the album cover, you can crop this accordingly. You don't have to have all of this extra white space in the actual printout. It'd be better to see the book a little bit larger. So for example, if you wanted to, kind of bring this in a little bit for the final print, you could certainly do that just so that it, features the artwork a little bit more versus all that dead space around it. So if you guys have any questions on this, let me know. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing the progress you guys have made on Tuesday. All right, thanks.